Thank you for joining me today. My name is Instructor Megan, and we'll be doing a Mother's Day drawing. Mother's Day is coming up pretty soon here in May, and we want to make something nice for our mom. So first thing I need you to have is a pencil with an eraser. Sorry, my cat just jumped on the table. You'll need a sharpener, and you'll need a black marker with a fine tip point, like this one. Okay, first things first, we're gonna draw this beautiful heart right here. Before we do that, I wanna make sure we find where the heart goes on our paper. Otherwise, it could end up anywhere, and then we won't be able to fit our tulips in. So we're actually gonna block our tulips in. We're not gonna full on draw them, but we're just gonna get the overall idea of the shape and come across our paper and draw our tulip shape like a blob. Now we know that our heart will fit right here, and then we'll have our tag go this way. This leaves us some space over here to write our message. So for our heart, I really want you to try to not freehand this heart. I mean, you can. If you're super confident in your heart making abilities, go for it. Otherwise, I want you to make a box. So on your paper, you're going to make the same box. Our papers are different sizes, so we're going to guess a little bit how we're going to increase the size here. And notice our box is going to overlap a little bit our shape. It helps me know that this is going to come out in front a little bit more. Okay, now we can see where our heart is. Make this really easy. Our heart is shallow, so we're going to keep that upper part shallow. We meet right across here, and then we're going to wrap all the way around till we hit our point at the bottom. This one has kind of a rounded outside edge. And clean up our shape a little bit as we go. Turn your paper if you need to. I would challenge you to say you should tape your paper down to your table and try to move your arm instead of the paper. This gives you a little bit of practice in moving your elbow and not your wrist. I like to use painter's tape, blue tape, so it doesn't rip my paper when I take it off. Alright, cleaning up our shape. We can start to erase that box we drew. Oops. There we go. Okay. So now we have a relatively good heart shape here. And we know that we have a tulip. We're going to draw some rough shapes for our tulip. Our tulip goes in front, right here. So it's going to copy here. Then right next to it, there's one. And over here, there's a smaller one. Down here, we're going to want to do the one behind first. Noticing a little bit of distance between the two. And this one that comes from behind this one and in front. Right there. And right away, we can see this leaf coming up and around. Okay, so in order to divide up our petals and our flowers, we're going to take one at a time, and we're going to start with what's in front of us, what's closest to us. For example, this tulip here, this petal is in front of us. So we're going to copy that shape. Has a little fold over right there. And then you can see not one, but two petals right behind it. This one coming up from the side and wrapping over. It's my cat again. Just shaking the table. And this one coming from behind and wrapping up here. So, cleaning up our shape. Whoops. That's right, I just dropped my pencil. How silly. There we go. Little vein down the middle of that petal. Okay, knowing that, we can erase this faint line we drew for the oval. And we can see our stem coming back a little bit from here. We want to keep light with our pencil so that we can erase, because we might have to move something. Okay, now let's work on this one right here, underneath. We see that we have one petal coming around this side and another petal coming around this side, one in between them, one beneath them. So here we're going to do the same thing. Got one on this side. Now, we're going to go this way. And up. And down and around. And we will do a middle petal. And we will do one right below. And then we can erase all the extra details that we have, all that extra ovally lines, and find that stem right here that disappears behind this petal, or this leaf, pardon. And then there's a leaf that comes right here, out and around like that. Okay. This leaf actually that comes around like this and off our page, but it's bending right here. And you can see the edge of this one disappear behind. And then you can see this one here. We're just defining these leaf shapes behind as we go. We don't want to attack them all at once, because we may find that as we go with our petals and our tulips that we have to move something. So again, we're drawing lightly and sharpening our lines, refining our edges as we go. So right here, we notice our tulip here can probably raise up a little bit higher. And you can see the angle at which it's going, which is down. So we're going to change the angle here. This is why we draw lightly, so that we can make these kinds of changes later on. So here, we're going to draw this petal here in the middle that's split into two. So we have one line coming up the middle, giving us this piece that curves back and behind the other one. Then we have this one on the side that's going to come up around, a little bit rounder, and tuck underneath. And then we can see a bent petal wrapping around this way. So we're going to wrap it around, and then we're going to add the little bent piece. And then a little petal behind right here. And this final petal for this one is over here. Comes around and up and in, like so. We have our stem. Okay, we're doing good. 2 more to go. This one's a lot smaller than these 3. You can see the size difference. I like to measure with my pencil. That helps me a lot. Using that, I can guess that it's probably going to be about this size. Good thing we drew it that size. And I see maybe 1 petal here, 1 petal here, and 1 in the middle. Not a lot going on there. That's okay. That helps us out a lot. 1 big petal in the front, like a blob. Fix that. Need to go out. There we go. And then coming around the other side and up into a wavy edge here and around in a loop. There we go. And I'm going to refine my edges, clean up some of these lines. Don't need all these ovals. They're just so distracting and messy. Good thing we have an eraser, right? Clean, clean, clean. Okay. We should find this stem here, huh? So, our stem, just like these 2, is going to come off and disappear. We're actually going to disappear behind that tulip, so we're going to stop right there. And notice this leaf that comes in front. Now we're going to erase that line. Then we have this one right here. This is our last tulip. This one is going to come up and around on this side. Has 1 underneath right here. And then has a cluster of a few tips in the middle. So we can be a little creative. I'm going to turn my paper so I can see this shape a little bit better. And I know that it's going to come in front of my box of chocolate. Chocolate. Moms are so lucky. Here we go. They deserve it. They deserve all that award for all that hard work that they do taking care of us. Okay, petals 1, 2, 3. Why not? 1 more. 4. Okay, let's erase this oval. And we gotta turn this back around. We can see the stem really well. And the stem is going to disappear behind a petal or a leaf. So here we go. We're going to swoop this one back just like this one. Right here. Swoop it back. And then cover it up with this leaf. We have one disappearing back here. And then we're going to find the edge of this petal and leaf again. I just want to call it a petal. And it's going to come up and in between here. I bent it a little bit extra. It's my leaf. Do whatever I need to do to make it right. Keeping an eye on where everything is, not getting lost in here. It's very easy. Here we go. Here's a petal. Good golly. A leaf. Another leaf. Okay. And then down here we need to finish this line. It's going to disappear behind that leaf and that stem. We can clean this line up. Oh my goodness, it looks like a whole bunch of stems. and lines. That's okay. We will be able to find it all later. For our bow, I want us to draw straight lines as straight as we can, here and here. We're going to get a little disrupted, so we're going to stop, and then we're going to come back over here and finish the same straight lines. You can find the edge of your bow, the top of your bow, the little box in the middle, this part. You can see a little bit of an underfoot loop there. And this one that comes up. This one we see a lot of the under loop. And then the edge of our ribbon going down in a little cut right there. And down this way, a little past your ribbon. Make it how you like it. Little creases here. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more bow-like, huh? Here and here. Now, coming from the middle, we're going up in a triangle shape. Have some wrinkles in our ribbon that goes around. Clean up the edge. And then the part that comes down, following that same triangle type shape. Not getting too much wider than the one that's going across the top. It's the same ribbon, remember. We have a little overlap right here, coming out of the middle, some creases. Let's lighten those up a little bit. Crease here, and here. We're going to erase this cross that's going through our heart so we don't get confused. And then we're going to do our tag. Now, it is totally cool if you want to write something different on this tag. Anything that you want it to be, it is totally your artwork. I'm going to write exactly what the example says here. Shorten that. If you have a ruler, it's great to use a ruler for these straight lines. If you don't, it's okay to make mistakes. We're going to erase that line underneath. It's gone now. Okay, for our lettering, I'm drawing 2 lines for the height of my font so they don't accidentally make a bunch of different sized letters. That's okay if that's my intention, but that's not my intention right now. So I'm going to write out my letters. These ones are all capital, all skinny letters. Extra skinny E there. Ooh. So the E for the H, or the line for the H and the line for the E is lower. And then so is the corner of this R. Very skinny S. And a heart for an apostrophe. And a D, an A, and a Y. Okay, so now we can erase this line. We don't need it anymore. And then we have our font. It's all set. All we need to do now is trace with our Sharpie marker. You don't have to trace. It's up to you. The other thing that you can do before we start tracing is write your message here if you want to write a message. Anything you want to say to your mom. I'm going to trace with my Sharpie marker. If you don't want to do that and you want to skip straight to coloring, go ahead and color with whatever you want to color with. If you want to color with highlighters, it's up to you. Whatever you think mom's going to like. Also, whatever color you think mom's going to like. Doesn't have to be pink. when we're tracing, I want you to go slow. I want you to be careful of making mistakes. And most times it's totally fine to make mistakes. But when it comes to our Sharpie, we want to be careful. Because we can't change it, we can't erase it. Sometimes we make happy mistakes that we end up liking. Take your time, enjoy it, enjoy the process. Thank you for joining me for our drawing today. I hope you enjoy your coloring. I hope you enjoyed your practice. And I know your mom is going to love it.